Hello everybody, this is Ray Kruse, your Food Systems Program Coordinator and Master Gardener Coordinator with the Iowa State University Extension and Outreach Office of Dubuque County. Today we are talking about transplant selection. It is May 7th, 2020. It's a little early to be getting our transplants because we have a frost coming in a day and a half. But you know what, if you're thinking about going out to get your transplants to keep them inside after frost, now's a good time to think about what you're going out to get. So here we're going to start with this tomato plant. Tomatoes are really popular in Dubuque County, and you might find this on the sale rack. You know, it's got a few yellow leaves. You know, tomatoes get yellow leaves in their life cycle. But if we take a little bit of a closer look here, we might be purchasing a bigger problem. So we look here, we have some little rings here coming on the edges of the leaf, and these are the early stages of either early or late blight. I'm not sure which one yet, but this is a prime example of where you might be getting something on sale, but purchasing a problem. So are you really saving yourself some money? I would, think about that. Now, if we go over here to this other transplant, this one might not be on the sale rack, but let's take a closer look at it. And I'd like to encourage you as a homeowner, too, to take a closer look at your plants and be really thorough. Because here, if we take a look at these leaves here, we have some damage occurring here. And though this might look like some damage from being moved around in the greenhouse, this one, especially under my index finger here, is an example of some early or late blight once again. So if we look at things prior to buying them, we can help to avoid buying a problem. And this is one, too, where I would just pass him by. Now, if we look at this transplant here, or this set of transplants, these are a perfect set of plants to be buying from the store. These are a 4-plaque of tomatoes, and they're at a perfect size to be getting and transplanting at this stage of life. They sell transplants larger than this at the store that might come in like 2 or 3 or 4 quart pots. And those bigger tomatoes do not always lend to a better crop or a sooner harvest, because a lot of those tomatoes are so big that for those larger plants to endure the transplant process, it's harder for them when they have so much foliage above ground. So this is at a perfect size when we can purchase our transplants and have a good result when we get home from the store and planting them in the garden. So we don't want to get plants that are too tall, because plants that are too tall indicate that they may be light starved. So these here are, I don't know, looking at my hand here, maybe 6 to 8 inches off the ground with the depth of the plant or the pot included in that. So these are perfect specimens to be buying. Now, if we go to a different species of plants, we can look at these cabbages here. These cabbages are another great example of some plants that are awesome. Now, they do have yellowing leaves down here, but we're not seeing any disease on them here. And so I'm going to be very confident in purchasing them because, again, these leaves here on these cabbages, these are a natural part of the plant's life cycle. It's just shed leaves. But I don't see any disease on them. So they're looking wonderful. I wouldn't have any problems purchasing them. If we go over here to this cauliflower, this is an example of something where I would be a little cautious in buying and pass it by. We have a bigger plant here. This one was sold at about $4 for this plant here. Same price as this 4-pack of plants here, which is going to give us a great result if we were to buy them. But this cauliflower here already has a crop on top coming. And though we might get really excited if we were to purchase this from the store because that crop looks like it's, not very far away, we can get some cauliflower really soon. This cauliflower still has to go through the traumatic experience of being transplanted and establishing itself while trying to grow a crop of cauliflower. So that crop isn't going to be as wonderful as it would be if we started with a plant this size. So I would actually pass this one by. Also, you're only getting one plant, though it is a bigger container. You're not really getting much more with the increased cost of this. And as far as this plant is along in its life cycle. So I would actually pass that by and would avoid buying that. Now we can come over here to some herbs. So this herb here is at a good size. I wouldn't have any problem purchasing it, but let's look a little closer here. And we have ourselves at least another, 10 or 11 plants in there of this cilantro. And though we might think we're getting a bargain by purchasing 10 or 11 plants of cilantro, in the long run here, these are overcrowded and we're not really going to get a wonderful crop out of there just because they're planted so close together. So this is another opportunity where I would just kind of pass that by because they're overcrowded and you're not going to have a wonderful crop out of there that you wish you would have had. And maybe go for a 4-pack of cilantro that has one per plant, one per cell, or one per little itty-bitty pot like these are here, where there's only 4 plants in a 4-pack. That's what I would shoot for, as opposed to having a whole bunch of little plants in a pot like that. Though at the first glance, it's like, yeah, we got a good plant there. It's a little lackluster in our final result. And a lot of these same concepts apply to purchasing flowers. So here we have an awesome example of a flower that I purchased from the store. It is a little bit bigger of a pot. Doesn't, like I said, doesn't always necessarily lend to a better plant, but this is just what we happen to see here, and this was a great example of something that is at a good size to purchase for a transplant. It's healthy, and it's going to do well for us. Now, we got a longer, bigger plant that looked really good in this pot. It might look good in the short term, but as June and July roll around, it's going to get a little bit leggy and might look a little bit dead in the center, just because that plant's life has completed more of its life cycle in the pot prior to you getting it. So with that, I hope that I've taught you some tips on selecting transplants, and that hopefully you can go to the store and make some great decisions. Good luck, everybody.